Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie Samuel reporting, and welcome to episode 16 of my 2022 FIFA World Cup podcast, bringing you the latest updates on the 2022 World Cup. I'm joined yet again by Bani Pera from Apple Sports. Barney, thanks so much for your time to join me on the podcast yet again, and what wonderful quarter-final action we've seen.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's been a while, but good to be back. And yes, the quarterfinals were all super dramatic, super action-packed. Each quarterfinal had, its own unique story, and it was just so many talking points from it.
Absolutely. How exciting to see that we're down to the last four now. It's getting really deep into the tournament, and we're close to finding a winner.
Yeah, well, we got four teams left from three different continents, which if I'm not mistaken, it's the first time it's ever been that way. And I can't wait for them to all kick off and see who makes the finals.
Absolutely. Over the quarterfinals, we have seen Croatia remarkably reach another semi-final and keep their hopes of a first ever title alive. Against all odds yet again, they defeated Brazil via the penalty shootout. After a goalless 90 minutes, Neymar gave Brazil the lead in the 105th minute, and Brazil looked to be headed towards a semi-final, before Bruno Petkovic scored the unlikeliest of equalisers in the 117th minute, sending the game to penalties. Croatia remarkably held their nerve and knocked out Brazil in the shootout. As Korea's penalty slammed into the post, Croatia were back into the semi-finals as their fans and players erupted in joy, shock and jubilation. The World Cup finalists of 2018 knocking out the world number one and another favourite to win the title this year, whilst keeping their dream of reaching another final this time around and even going one better to win their first title alive. They have the opportunity to make it back to the final following the 2018 defeat to France. In fact, there's a chance of a repeat of the 2018 final due to both teams making it into the semis. Barney, what an effort from Croatia, defeating mighty Brazil and making it into the last four.
Yeah, well, they continue to surprise people. Maybe we need to start giving them more credit. I didn't have Croatia going anywhere near this stage of the tournament before it started. So they continue to surprise. They continue to punch above their weight. A country of 4.5 million doing that sort of thing on the world stage is a brilliant effort. And I honestly thought when Neymar scored that goal, that was it. The Croatian spirit has been deflated. There is no way they can come back. And once again, the Croatians surprised me and surprised everyone watching the game what they're made of. They're a mentally strong team.
Absolutely they are. What do you think went wrong for Brazil, do you feel?
It's hard to say. I mean, they had the ball for the majority of the game. The chances all fell to them. It's just converting their chances that just they just weren't able to convert their chances. And look, the Croatian defense deserves a mention there. They did everything to keep the Brazilians out. That centre back of them, Guardiol, he's been a revelation along with his veteran partner Lovren. And their goalkeeper, he's been brilliant in this World Cup. So I don't know that Brazil necessarily did anything bad. They created the chances. They just couldn't convert until Neymar did it in that 100th minute of the game.
Yeah, similar time to that. Yeah, unfortunately for Brazil, they've failed at another major tournament again. Argentina defeated the Netherlands via the penalty shootout 4-3 following a 2-2 draw. Nahel Molina gave Argentina the advantage in the 35th minute as they took that advantage to the main break. Lionel Messi doubled that lead in the 73rd minute, and it looked like Argentina had all but wrapped up their places in the semi-finals. But Holland made a late charge back, Wout Weghorst pulling one back in the 83rd minute before scoring the unlikeliest of equalisers in the 11th minute of overtime, sending the game into extra time. With no further goals scored, the game went all the way to penalties. As Argentina held their nerve throughout the shootout, Martinez stepped up and sent them through to the last four. As they did in the 2014 World Cup, Argentina eliminated the Dutch via the penalty shootout, as their quest to win a first title goes on yet again. Another failed tournament from the Netherlands, it's fair to say, but Lionel Messi keeps his dream of holding aloft the World Cup alive one last time. Barney, the Netherlands fell short of a title yet again. What a disappointment for them.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were almost the Croatia of that game because it was the same sort of pattern. They were down and out. Everyone thought they'd lost, and then they found something within themselves to turn the game into extra time and then into penalties. I think the Netherlands, no disrespect to their opponents, they didn't have any real tough opponents, and I think Argentina had tougher games, and I think they were just hardened up. But I mean, at the end of the day, the penalty shootout is a lottery. The Dutch will be very disappointed. They'll see this as a missed opportunity. They've lost a few penalty shootouts at World Cups, and in all honesty, I think personally, I thought the Dutch were quarterfinalists before the tournament started, and they finished as I expected. I thought that was great how they, like the Croatians, they didn't give up. They forced the game into extra time. They forced the game into penalties. And, and the penalties are it's a total lottery.
Absolutely it is. Argentina kept their dream alive. They are on track to go all the way for the first time since 1986. Can they do it now?
Well, my money's on them. I've had a cheeky bet on Argentina to win and a South American team to win, so I need them to win. Look, they've got the artillery to do it. They are currently the favourites. The only question mark I have over them is they've done enough to win the games, but they haven't really dominated any game that they've actually played. So that's the only question mark I have over Argentina. But look, they've got the team to do it. But yeah, it comes down on the day. Will they fire up? Do they rely too much on the one man Messi, or will the other players rise to the occasion as well? But look, they've got the team to do it.
Yeah, absolutely they do. And I think for one, now that all the teams that I realistically wanted to win the tournament have gone out, my prediction was the Netherlands at the start of the tournament. I next kind of wanted England or Portugal. What could have seen Ronaldo win it, but now they're all gone. I think very much I'm in Argentina's court and boat that I want to see them hold the trophy aloft for Lionel Messi. I think that would be the best outcome, in my opinion, from the last 4 teams remaining. Morocco became the first ever African nation to reach the semi-finals after stunning Portugal 1-0 in one of the great quarter-final upsets in the history of the game. As if beating Spain were not enough for this determined, resilient outfit, they were yet again good enough to defy odds and earn a place in the Final Four, eliminating Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo's dream of becoming a World Cup winner. En-Nesyri's 37th minute goal proved enough for Morocco as Portugal wasted chances. The final whistle saw scenes of jubilation for the African nation and will be remembered as a landmark moment in African football history. Barney, what an effort from Morocco. They have consistently defied odds at this World Cup, and we are seeing an African side in the last 4. History has been made.
Oh, for sure. It's been a great ride for the Moroccans. I've always had a soft spot for them ever since I first watched them play. They've always had the worst luck. And it's like this World Cup, all the bad luck from previous World Cups has all been disappeared, and it's taken them to the semi-final. They were ruthless against Portugal. They did not allow the Portuguese to play. I thought when Ronaldo came on, he'd find a way to dribble past that Moroccan defence, and they still couldn't find a goal against Morocco. They've only conceded one own goal in this whole World Cup. So they're defensively, they are a very rock-solid team. It'll be interesting against their next opponents, how good their defence will hold up, and whether they've got a few injuries. So we'll see how they go. But it's been a great story. I think they'll be the story of this World Cup, regardless of who ends up winning it. Morocco, no one expected, no one spoke about them, and they're in a semi-final.
Absolutely, completely agree with you. What a disappointment for Portugal, a side that could potentially have gone all the way and sent Ronaldo off with a World Cup, in which now he will never achieve in his decorated career.
Yeah, look, I'm a Ronaldo fan. It would have been, promoter's dream would have been a Messi versus Ronaldo final. That wasn't to be. Look, at the end of the day, they couldn't score against Morocco, and Ronaldo did have almost half a game to assert his authority. It just wasn't to be. It is a sad end, but the the Moroccans had other ideas. But as a Ronaldo fan, I wish he had gone one or two games further in his World Cup career. It'll be interesting what happens to him now. I know he's signed with the Saudi club Al Nassr, so I'd say his international career is more or less over now. But who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. France defeated England 2-1 to advance through the semi-finals. Chiomini opened the scoring for France in the 17th minute as France took a 1-0 half-time lead. Harry Kane equalised from the penalty spot in the 54th minute before Olivier Giroud's 78th minute goal sent France into the last four. Harry Kane missed a second opportunity to equalise from the spot in the 83rd minute, blasting his kick over the bar. France good enough to hold on and make it through to the last four. Their dream of back-to-back titles is still alive, and it is expected they will defeat Morocco and advance to the final. Barney, England, another major tournament failure yet again, unable to deliver on the site that went all the way to the European Cup final.
Yeah, look, I think England, just like Holland, I don't think they were really tested up till the quarterfinal. They had relative easy teams compared to some of the other quarterfinalists, and that was their first real test, the first time they had to play against a team with a bit of pedigree, and they just weren't up to it. Having said that, losing 2-1 to the French is hardly a bad result. I mean, obviously they're out, but I think England were fortunate to have gotten to as far as they did. I don't think they were as strong as the pundits made them out to be. But they're disappointed. They go to every World Cup believing this is the one. Football's coming home and all that. But I think they haven't. They just don't have the enough X factor players to take on a France or a Brazil or an Argentina, in my opinion. The current team is a very young team. Give them 4 years and keep them together. They will be a very formidable team in 4 years from now. They've got a very good basis of a great team. But yeah, for them, it's a disappointment.
All right, no problem. Yeah, absolutely, totally agree. Now France are through. Are you confident they will go all the way to the final, especially considering their opponents? And can they even do more and go back to back?
That's a hard one. I didn't rate Morocco against Spain, but Morocco won. I didn't rate Morocco against Portugal, but Morocco still won. It's easy to say France should beat Morocco, but after what I've seen so far, I'm not that sure. The French definitely have the stronger attacking team. Dembele and Mbappe are going to give the Moroccan defence a lot of trouble, but Morocco have shown that no one scores against them apart from own goals. So it will be an interesting game. Of course, I do expect the French to win, but in my heart, I would like to see Morocco doing something special. As I said, I've got a very soft spot for them. But to answer your original question, does France have the artillery to go all the way and do the back-to-back? Absolutely. They're good enough to. They're playing some great football. There is no reason why they can't. It comes down to, again, on the day, who's up to the task.
Absolutely, it does. Reasonable. In other news, some exciting upcoming matches include, now that we are down to the last four of the competition, some incredible sides making it this far against all odds. We begin our semi-final journey with Argentina facing Croatia in the first semi-final at Lusail Iconic Stadium. Argentina earned their place in the last four, with 2 wins so far in the knockout stage, eliminating Australia 2-1 in the round of 16, before surviving a late comeback from the Netherlands after a 2-2 draw, defeating them on penalties 4-3 to advance to the last four. Croatia have been remarkable at this World Cup yet again, winning their 2 knockout games via the penalty shootout, eliminating Japan in the round of 16, 3-1 on penalties following a 1-1 draw, before remarkably eliminating Brazil on penalties 4-2 after a 1-1 draw. My prediction, a 2-1 victory for Argentina as they advance through to the final. Bani, what an effort from Croatia, earning their spot in the semi-finals, knocking out the number one side in the world. This has to be as big an achievement as reaching the final in 2018, if not their biggest achievement yet.
Yeah, look, it's a great win for Croatia. I agree with you in that I believe Argentina will win 2-1. But Croatia, they've punched above their weight. Last World Cup and this World Cup, and we can't keep ignoring Croatia and what they bring to a World Cup now. They've proven it in 2 straight World Cups. They've been great, but I don't know. I just can't help thinking Argentina has to strike this time and beat Croatia, and I do agree 2-1, whether it's in normal time or extra time.
Yep, reasonable prediction. France will take on Morocco at the Al Bayt Stadium. France were good enough to outclass Poland 3-1 in the round of 16 before defeating England in the quarterfinals 2-1. Olivier Giroud's goal sending France into the last 4 as Harry Kane missed a second opportunity to equalise from the spot in the 83rd minute, as France were good enough to hold out and make it through to the last 4. The defending champions are very likely to reach another final and defend for their title and win their 3rd. Whilst Morocco became the first African side to reach the last 4 after their 1-0 defeat of Portugal, who's to say they can't make it all the way to the World Cup final? They have continued to defy odds this whole tournament and are facing their firmest test so far. My prediction, a 3-0 win for France as they advance back to another final. Barney, please give me your prediction.
Oh, that's a hard one. Where my head is and my heart are at odds here. I think it's going to be another tight one. Morocco just don't allow goals to be scored against them. And if France are going to win, it will be a 1-0 win. I can't imagine it's going to be a lopsided game. I think it's going to follow the pattern of the other previous games Morocco have played, where they sit back and wait for the counter attack and try and get them on the counter. But yeah, look, I can't see a team with the class of France. Their attack is just amazing. I think Morocco, they've had a great Cinderella story. I'm going to predict that this is where they're going to get unstuck, and the French attack is going to be too strong for Morocco. But 1-0, I don't think it's going to be any more than 1-0.
Fair enough. What can Morocco do to cause another major upset, create history for Africa by reaching a final against all odds?
And they just continue to do what they've been doing till now. They've soaked up the pressure. They've soaked up the other team's attack. They've nullified any of their chances. And I mean, their goal against Portugal, that was from a counter attack. And it was a bit of a goalkeeping error there. Morocco just continue to do what they've done to get them as far as this. Play the counter attack, play a defensive style, and it's helped them so far. And Morocco will actually be happy to take the game to penalties. I'm not sure the French want that, but the Moroccans, if they take the game to penalties, they'll be happy with that. So, yeah, Morocco just has to do what they've done till now. It's gotten them to the semi-finals.
Yeah, absolutely. And what does France need to do to stop this Moroccan run and go through to the final as expected?
Just keep the ball and convert your chances. Simple as that. They're going to have the ball the majority of the game. They have to do something with it. Their 2 fast wingers are definitely an asset. Yeah, Griezmann in the middle and then Giroud up front. They are a formidable team, and supported by 2 very good central midfielders. Look, they've got the artillery. It's just a case of don't lose the ball in a key part of the field, and don't allow Morocco to get you on the counter. But as long as they convert their chances, the French are they're in.
Yep, absolutely, I agree with you. And that concludes episode 16 of my 2022 FIFA World Cup podcast. Barney, thanks so much for your time again. I'm sure you will be up in the early mornings to see these exciting semi-finals.
Oh, 100%. Looking forward to both of them.
Me too. I'm very excited to see who makes it through. And as always, remember, if you are keen to be a guest on this podcast, you can reach me on my email in the video description or via the LinkedIn profile in the description. I look forward to bringing you more action after the semi-finals and bring you a preview of the 2022 FIFA World Cup final.